Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all keeping well out there in YouTube land. I hope you've enjoyed the day so far. I think it's been an absolutely brilliant day. I think I've caught most of the people that have been on. So yes, the virtual crafty. Oh, hang on, I've got my sound on YouTube. Turn that off. Right, I'm back again. Yeah, virtual crafty this month is dedicated to Braxton Worthing. The link at the top of my chat is to Jamie's Buy Me a Coffee. So I want to pop across there. Any donations to the Buy Me a Coffee will be going to Braxton's family. Underneath in the description, there is a link to the Virtual Crafty t-shirt. There we go. Virtual Craft Festival t-shirt, and all donations from that are also going to Braxton's family as well to give them a helping hand. There's also a GoFundMe page. I don't think I've actually got the GoFundMe page in my description, but there is a GoFundMe page as well. I'm sure Jamie could pop it into the link at some point.
Yeah, I'll go in search of it now.
Grand. And on that note, I'll bring the guys in. And for your delectation tonight, we've got Jake. And I've just had a look at I just had a look at the blanks that he cast earlier on, and they look mint. We've got Dale building new Maple Tree Studios when the guys finally turn up to pour some concrete. And
it's not the guys turning up, it's the concrete turning up.
What's the concrete? The concrete, sorry. And we've got Jamie from JP Woodwork. And can I just give a big thank you to Jamie, to Dale, and to Carl, who was out in the chat, for organising this yet again.
Hi, Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Can't remember which one we're on now.
We're on the last one of 2021. That's all that matters.
Yes, yeah. That's all that matters. Right. So tonight, what I'm doing tonight, I'm carrying on with my usual painting effects. I'm going to be using the Space Dust paint again. Tonight, I'm going to be using the red and gold, and I'm also going to be using a couple of Joe Sonia's colours as well. Probably the red and gold of the Joe Sonia's as well. So this piece of sycamore is, what sort of size is it? It's around about 12 inches.
Oh, thanks. You're mint.
Mint. It's around about 12 inches by 1 3/4 inches. So I'll get on and do some turning, and the guys can let us know what's happening out there in Chatland.
Wow, lurking out in the chat, we have the singular Andy Berkey, the singular Andy Linechley, the singular Ashley M, the singular Barry Chit. I'm going to stop this now. This Benjamin, Mr. Carl Jacobson, Connie, Doug Liz Mungham, Jake, James Crawford, Jeff Crowan, Jen Smith, that Jen's turn, Katie Shed, my apologies, Ron Spaghetti, Matt, Is It Level Wackerly, Mike Hugh, Peter Corrigan, Rich, Rex B, Robert Lavsley, Kez at Spirit and Bear, but it could be Phil, but it's probably Kez, Stuart and Grulia, Wendy at Toon Piss Crafts, the Wood Jedi himself, Mr. Wayne the Woodturner, and Woodworm by Paul. And maybe a few other ones.
Brian at Heart Returning's in as well, and Bonnie 1969.
Cool.
Hey, Brian.
Bonnie.
Shane Hurst is in.
Oh, someone's got a question there. Where is it? My wife bought some space dust and is anxious to try it. Question, is flat black or gloss black better for a base?
They recommend gloss. I'm sure that's what the recommendation is in the description. Either would work though.
I've actually got my packet right here. It says Colores Acrylios Metalios para. Oh, that's Spanish.
Keep on.
It says over a gloss black base color.
There you go.
There you go.
Did someone read that for you?
No, it was English I was struggling with. I was doing all right with the Spanish. Nick Castle's in. It says evening, Wayne and all.
Evening, Nick. Another bit big.
Scott, the
Yeah.
blue light tumbler, says, Jamie, were you trying to cast a spell there?
Something like that.
Tell 'em, you don't try, you succeed.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah. No trying.
So these paints that we were just talking about were called space dust. Right. So if Wayne was to have some colour shift paints named after him, what would they be called?
God, here we go.
Drunk dust. Wood dust.
There you
Jen
go,
says mint dust.
Mint dust.
Woodworm
Whatever
Paul
they would
says
be.
wood dust.
Whatever they would be, they'd have to be hydrophobic.
Douglas Mungo
That's
says
easy
old
for you
man
to say.
time dust.
They don't like, means they don't like water, Wayne.
Wendy says wine dust. Douglas Mungo says old man time dust. Oh, blue light turner's going in a different direction. He says Merlot water.
Chris
Let's
Spalding
quickly go
says,
back
Ashley
up
had a
to-
question.
Yeah,
Had
I'm
a
gonna
question
quickly
on
scroll
which
back
tools are
up.
being used.
Let's quickly scroll back up. Actually, what turning tool is Wayne using? Size and brand.
The first one
Right.
you were using. The first one you were using.
First one, that's Robert Sorby 3/8 Excelsior ball gouge. It's titanium cobalt coated, I think. The difference between UK measurements and US measurements is that we, with ball gouges, we do the measurement across the flute of the gouge, whereas in the States, it's the actual bar that's measured. So in the States, that would be a 1/2 inch ball gouge, but in the UK, it's a 3/8.
So we've got pizza dust from Kez. Wayne Big Feet says too much dust. Jen's Crafting Creations also said pizza dust, and Wendy at Toonfish Craft says, "Ooh, Jedi Force color."
I think the problem with Wayne's paint series is that you'd have to if there were any kind of Wayne dust, it'd have to be there for 20 years before just to get ready to be able to be used. Question from Rex B. Benjamin had a question for Wayne.
I'm scrolling up and I'm trying to find it.
Says, I believe you sell your stuff in a shop you work in. Do you find the color stuff sells better than the natural stuff?
Yes, I do.
Jeff Crown says, "Okay, I've arrived. Let's see Newton dust." What was that? Was it a TV game show that had Dusty Bin? Is it a game show? I can't remember.
It was a game show, Jamie, yes.
Spaceball dust. James Craft Grange says, evening everyone. Everyone's going 3-1. 3-1.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That's what it was. Malcolm Douglas is in the house.
I think it would be Geordie Dust.
Ronnie's put left in the dust. Michelle Higgins has put good morning. Good evening, Magic Makers.
Hi, Michelle.
Good evening.
James Craft and Grange has put class with secret space dust. Jeff Cronin's put angel dust. Douglas Mungham's put Jack dust.
Chuck dust. I think I've got a bit of a knot at the side of this. Yeah,
There's something chattering.
Yeah, that's it there.
It's not supposed to sound like that.
It'll sound like that
Can
once
do.
you hit a knot.
Is there a fault line between that knot and the one on the other side?
I don't know. I'll have a look.
Erpcan Tiff Tick is out there. He says Hersky hi Super Wayne. The Dutch Turner's out there, says evening Wayne and all.
Hey there.
Douglas Mungham says spore and dust.
Let's have a look. No, there's no fault line on the other side.
Jennifer's Crafting Creations is asking, question, what wood is it, Wayne, please?
It's sycamore, Jennifer. Started off around about 12 inches across by 1 3/4 inches deep. There we go.
Yeah, he'd done so much turning with you, he got sick of you, so now he's going to do sycamore. Bonnie 1969 says, I missed the question, but I'll toss out Highlander dust.
Very nice.
Really dust. Joey Everett Still Red Woodworks is out in the chat.
Joey.
One of the Saturday morning cartoons security guards. Dutch Turner's gone drilly. Woohoo!
Grant. So that was 80. Now we'll do 120. The bottom of this is not getting coloured, so I'll only go up to 240.
Douglas Mungham says, question, all hail the Wood Jedi. What is the best depth blank for fruit bowls, please?
Best depth, that really all depends on the diameter. I would say if you're going to do a 12-inch fruit bowl, it needs to be at least 3 inches deep, I would say.
Yeah. Mrs. Joe Senior is in.
Hiya,
Hello,
Joe.
Joe.
Where's
Ashley
Brushy?
M's got a question for Wayne. It says question for Wayne and all the hosts. Do you prefer tenons, mortise, recess, waste block, or something else to hold the wood?
Mortise.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
Just about every time I'll go for a mortise.
I've had tenons snap on me many times.
Mortis.
I'll go for a recess only because I want to lie down.
Yeah. I'm gonna play outside.
That's what you did there.
Good job.
The important thing
go
when you're
play.
doing a mortise, just let me give this a wipe off and I'll explain. Is that this part here? Okay, you've got to leave a lot of meat at this part here. Now, this, the depth of that is, we'll just take that back to 0. What's that? Just over 3 mil. So it's not very deep. But as long as you've got the mortise, the proper size for the jaws, it doesn't really make that much difference. As long as it's a nice snug fit. Go on, Jamie.
Douglas Mungham has also had a question. Mortise, even if spalted wood.
Yeah, even if spalted wood, depending on how spalted it is. The thing is, if you use a tenon on spalted wood, chances are you're going to crush the fibres to hell and it's probably going to snap.
Yeah.
The only time that I don't use mortise if I'm doing a special type of bowl that I want to take to have it a nice flat bottom on the bowl, or if I'm doing between centre work. I never use a mortise on between centre work. That's always a tenon.
Ashley M says, I can already tell I'm going to be watching this part again later.
That's good.
Bonnie says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up in the video.
Now what
Scott
I'll do
says, go on, mate.
What I'll do actually, when I take this piece off, when I've gotten the bottom finished, I'll explain what I mean about having the jaws the right size and why you really need to have the jaws or the recess or mortise, whatever you want to call it, why you really need to have that the right size for the jaws.
Scott said, snapping a tenon, though, is not as bad as snapping a banjo. Yeah, very true. I see where he's going with that. I thought you meant ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I knew where he was going with that. Yeah, I've broken a banjo before.
Dueling banjo.
Jeff Crone says, I've heard from a few turners saying it. Yeah, I broke my banjo on my leg before. Jeff Crone says, I've heard from a few turners saying it depends on species, grain, species, grain direction, etc. Depending upon your factors, the mortise could actually break through.
Right. Predominantly, when you turn bowls, the grain goes that way. Okay. When you turn in between centres, the grain runs along the length of the lathe. So you've actually got a hell of a lot of strength here when you're using a mortise. Now, a lot of people, a lot of wood turners think the total opposite of the way that I think when it comes to mortises and tenons. A lot of the time it is a personal point of view. There are no hard and fast rules. I haven't been turning very long, so a lot of the time I don't know what I'm talking about. I've only been turning since 1986, so what do I know?
Ashley M also asks, why have a meaty shoulder around the mortise?
So when you expand the mortise into it, it's not going to break out the wood that's surrounding the mortise area. If you have a very thin foot around here and you expand the mortise out into it, chances are you are going to break that piece of wood out.
Mm-hmm.
For reference, Jamie, I think Scott might have been talking about a frenulum, I think it is, which is a small piece of skin that helps secure the movement of an organ, frequently referred to as a banjo string.
Gotcha. Oh, I forgot. We've hands up
That's
for
why when you said you...
like brown, Yorkshire gritty.
No, it wasn't.
That was.
He's not finished yet.
I'm saying
Forgot
nothing.
to show the grit.
There
That's
you
just
go.
what I've used. Yorkshire grit.
There we go.
I saw it on the
Now
tissue
I'm going to
paper.
use some chestnut wood wax 22.
So how's the song go?
It goes like this.
Wood
Yorkshire
wax.
grit's great.
La, wood
Yorkshire,
wax.
this one. This one. Chestnut,
Beach
dooby
52.
dooby doo. Chestnut, dooby dooby doo. Chestnut, waxy waxy poo. No? Oh, okay.
Wood wax. Wood wax. Wood wax. Wood wax.
I use Yorkshire gritty, so my projects don't look
Rubbish.
Gritty. We
That's
didn't
not how-
swear there. Just Jake
No,
started one. Jake started part of a word and I finished it.
I'm telling your moms. Well, I'm telling Jake's mom.
Well, should probably be all
Your
right.
son swore. Your son swore live.
You might not get any
Yes.
sandwiches.
Okay, right.
Probably right.
When you're expanding the jaws, okay? Now, the way these jaws are made, I'll close these all the way up. The way they're made is that they are machined in one piece. Then they're cut into four. So when you cut them into four, you've got a certain amount of space here. So when you actually tighten them up, this isn't a proper circle. This only becomes a proper circle when they've been opened up about 2 mil. So now it's a proper circle, okay? So that is going to grip all the way around the mortise, all the way around. If you've got it too small, you're only going to have the outside edges here that are going to grip into the mortise, which is not a good hold. Alternatively, if you have the mortise too big, it's going to be the same thing really. If you have the mortise too big, that's way out of being a circle. So again, you're only going to be holding on the edges of the jaws, which is not going to give a secure hold, which is why you've got to get the mortise at a proper size for holding.
Joey says you had to do a Hank Hill impression, Jake. God
Well,
damn it, all I want to do is some wood turning.
I use Yorkshire gritty.
So that my projects do not look rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley M says, what size mortise do you usually use, Wayne?
70 mil. 70 mil. What the hell is that in old money?
Close enough to 3 inches not to matter.
70 mil, 2 3/4 inches.
Pretty good.
Good call.
Good call.
What are you talking about, old money? We're not that old. How am I supposed to know what a mortise is?
I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
I just want a plate for my hot dog. Toonfish Cross is out there being rude. She says,
That's not
Yorkshire
like her.
gritty makes your wood look pretty.
That's way better than what I was thinking.
Wayne Bigfoot says, Valerie says you use Yorkshire gritty because Jake's not pretty. Her word's not his.
If that's the worst I hear all day, that's pretty good. I'll take it.
There's a lot of hot dogs appearing out in the chat.
I just want hot dogs in the chat.
Hot dogs, oh, more hot dogs. Benjamin says, I tend not to use imperial measurements when I turn, always comes out wrong.
I just eyeball it.
It's going to be a shame to colour this piece, but I am.
It's happening.
Ashley says, I copied you, Bonnie. Hashtag cool kids. Hashtag Jake's girls. Hashtag
Yeah.
Jamie's girls.
Yeah. Representing.
Jen's put a hot dog out there in a blue lover. Calm down,
Read it.
Jen.
Don't read into that. I got a lazy eye Dutch, so it doesn't matter.
It's a fairly impressive line, isn't it, Wayne?
It is. It's
Pretty nice.
It's not that bad, and I finished turning this particular part anyway, so there's no more damage going to happen to it. It is going to show up through the ebonizing lacquer. That's the only thing.
So he said he uses Home Depot's tape measure.
I bet that has a story.
Now, seeing as how this is going to be coloured, I'm going to sand this up to 400. A lot of people who don't do colouring turn around and say you're just doing colouring to hide your mistakes. That's really wrong, that is, because if you're doing any sort of colouring at all, it will pick up any mistakes that you've left on the wood.
Yeah, the colouring accentuates. Woodwork Learner says that my eye is not lazy, the rest of it is. Douglas Mangum says Wayne was about 200 when Stonehenge was, when he built it, he was the foreman.
Mrs. Kirkwood appears to have lost her phone somewhere in the field.
Oh, dear.
Wonderful. Are you going out tonight to look for it?
Absolutely. We'll probably find some muntjac deer when we're out.
Oh,
So
nice.
That's what we saw this morning.
Yeah, get a couple trapped. They're well tasty, they are.
Bang! Oh dear. Sorry, Bambi.
Wayne was actually sitting on the clouds singing Adam and Eve, sitting in a tree, Kissing.
No. He was the Jedi at the Eastern. It was the Eastern Gate kind of thing. Rather than having a flaming sword, it was a lightsaber.
Oh, I've got the wrong camera on there. That's better.
Yeah, you have.
Come on,
Yeah, I
love.
have.
Hurry about.
So again, this
Benjamin
is just
says all my tape
acrylic
measures and
standard
rules
seal
are
I'm
metric
putting on.
only. It's a beautiful thing to behold. Sorry, mate, I just interrupted you there.
No, you mean, that's just acrylic sand and sealer I'm putting on again. I'm just going to wipe the excess off. It doesn't take very long to dry, acrylic sand and sealer, especially the spray-on stuff. Now, I'm not going to be putting Yorkshire grit on the top of this. because it is an abrasive paste and it's got wax in it. So if I do use that, I'd have to do quite a lot of cleaning to take, once it's finished doing its work, I'd have to clean it off with methylated spirits or denatured alcohol, so I could put colour over the top of it. So what I'm using an orange Webbrax pad. This has got the equivalent grit of 1200, and I'm just going to knock that sanding sealer back, just to make it nice and smooth again. Grand. And then what I'll do, I'll stick some paint on there. Or ebonite. I'm using chestnut ebonizing lacquer. Just a bit over there that I missed. I'll turn the speed way down on this. The lowest speed on this pulley is 150. I'll get it down to 150 just to get that dried. Shouldn't take too long before it's dry enough so I can put the rest of the paints on. And what I'll do, I'll take it off the lathe, put it down onto the piece of plywood to do the rest of the paints. I'll see if I can get this dried using the hot air gun without messing up like I usually do.
You know, from here with that microphone on, it sounds like there's a sheep in the workshop. Going, "Meh."
Long-winded sheep.
Dutch Turner says ebonizing lacquer, is that secretly just black spray paint?
It's probably
Kinda.
very similar. Very similar. Now, people do like to touch paint to see if it's dry or not. So if you are doing anything like this, try and touch in the center, because obviously this part's going to get turned out, and that feels quite dry. So I'll be very careful with this when I take it out.
Ashley M says, how are you not afraid of spraying paint near your lathe?
Have you seen the state of my lathe, Ashley?
Once upon a time, that said spinny.
Just
Now
like
just
one-
as
You know, you can hardly see, you can hardly even see that now.
Yep.
Right. So the paints I'm going to be using tonight, like I said, I'm using the wrong camera. There we are. Red and gold from the Space Dust. Oh, I didn't bring any bloody paintbrushes out with us. God. Clasper.
Use your
What you
finger.
like?
You're joking, man.
You're joking, man.
I'm working on that one.
Jim Spalding says, been called away unexpectedly for a while. See everyone later today. Take it easy, Jim.
All right, Jim.
Dale Slaughter says, I've been told I'm older than dirt.
Right. This is very, very pink. Jamie was telling us about this the other day.
Watch this becomes magical. It's going to turn green.
It is really, really pink. And then we'll start applying it. And I'm just applying it in a figure of 8.
Those are those highly expensive brushes
Oh yes, yeah.
you source from that boutique shop. Benjamin's asking a question, Wayne. He says, how do we really know it's space dust?
He tasted it.
Plus, it said so on the packet.
Because he made it before Stonehenge.
Mind it from the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Do you have jam-colored space dust?
Oh,
I'm not
nice.
too sure.
Raspberry, please.
So right up next after Wayne is Art of Fire Glass Blowing. Unfortunately, they was unable to get us a link for whatever reasons. I don't think they know how to do it, to be honest. So unfortunately, we're unable to provide a link to on the playlist, but I will put a link in the chat for everybody to go over there to their channel and just keep an eye out for when they're live. And after they're live, you can go back to the running playlist.
That's
We have a
also
lovely
bubble wrap.
Franco.
I bet I've burnt that piece of bubble wrap I saw earlier on.
You've burnt the plastic? No, you must have misplaced it. Just misplaced it.
Right, what I'll
God.
do, like I say, I'm going to use Joe Sonia's gold and red. To tell you the truth, I'm not overly impressed with that red and gold paint. Oh, now looking at it from this angle, I'm seeing red. The way that I was looking at it earlier on, I was seeing green. We'll get some Joe Sonia's gold out here. And all I'm going to use is a very small piece of non-slip matting. And we'll just have a bit play with the gold. And I might even do some red as well. How are we doing on time?
You are at 20 to coming up for 20 to 9, sir.
Okay.
Folks, remember, if you like what Wayne's doing or you've enjoyed the craft festival today, please remember and hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you like what Wayne's doing, go on, hit subscribe and give that notification bell a ring. At the top of the chat, you will find a link to Jamie's Buy Me a Coffee. All the proceeds from all the coffees bought will be going to Braxton's family. Braxton Worthen, today's craft festival is dedicated to Braxton Worthen, who sadly left us far too young quite recently. Braxton was a regular on the Crafty. We loved his work. Braxton is survived by a wife and 2 small children, and what we're trying to do is we're around $39,000 in the fund, and we'd love to reach 40,000 before the end of the day. So please reach deep, buy that coffee. Almost all of the money goes to the fund, and by the coffee guys take very, very, very little just to administer the service. So please reach deep, buy that coffee, and let's make sure that we say thank you to Braxton for all the previous times he's been on and provide for his family a little bit in this difficult time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So please buy a coffee. It's not a wine this time. It's actually a coffee. Jamie doesn't drink wine.
Coffee.
Jamie,
It's not my buy me a coffee. It is Jamie's buy me a coffee.
Because if you bought Jamie a wine, he'd be pissed.
We had some real nice donations today as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've sold quite a few shirts as well, which is good. So yeah, We
are offering a special edition shirt, and the person with a special edition shirt is just going to find out. But we are offering, for anyone wanting to spend $200, Jake Thompson has up until now, unawarely so, offered to donate his shirt for the first person to offer $200.
Yeah.
And for $1,000, Jake will come inside the shirt. I could have reworded that.
Careful now. You could have worded that better, Jamie.
Jake will be wearing the shirt.
Well, whatever. I can whip it up.
For $300, Wayne the Woodturner will send you his. For $400, Jamie
You can
won't
fit
send you
two
his.
normal people inside mine.
$400. Jamie will keep
Thank you,
his
shirt. I appreciate that, buddy.
There we go.
So go on. This is a one-off opportunity for all those Jake girls out there to own very special piece of memorabilia. $200, and he will send you his virtual crafty shirt.
I'll do it.
And all the proceeds go to the fund.
$1,000, and Jake will be wearing it.
I'll show up with it. But make sure you drink water.
Stay hydrated, folks.
Stay hydrated, ladies.
Pat your head with it while he feeds you grapes.
Yep, that's what'll be going on.
No, wrong one.
No, Wayne,
Jen's
we don't want to wash it. No. Wayne Big Fitty says for an extra 50 he'll even wash it. No. For an extra 50 he won't wash it.
Yeah.
Jen's got her mouth zipped. I think she's trying not to ask where to send the money to.
Hey, there's always DMs. We can get it done. We can get it done. Ashley's still going on about how you worded that horribly wrong the first time.
I did
Ashley's amused.
say that horribly wrong.
Ashley's
I think this is
amused.
dry enough to turn now.
Oh, go on then.
Right, here we go. Let's just mark this so I know where I want to put the bowl.
I want to find some magical lyrics to Goldfinger that we can use for this bowl. Sadly, I'm missing a shug.
Bit further out.
Dutch has made a good point. It says only for the girls.
No,
It's
Dutch,
preferred.
I mean, it depends how you identify, sir. It depends how you identify.
Just so we're clear, I identify one way. That's it.
Yeah, he turns right on red. That's where he is.
Dutch says for 1,000 you better identify as flexible.
He just said he'd show up with it. He didn't show up saying he would do anything. Just said he'd show up with it.
You're just doing a lot of assuming.
Your inner demons are speaking here, Dutch Turner.
That's some distance that is as well.
Let's not assume that you wouldn't need to be flexible.
Oh, hello. Should you two get a room?
Hey, hey.
Check, please.
Hey.
Actually, Ev says donations are donations, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but DNA wasn't where we were headed, Ashley.
A different conversation.
I've said this joke and I'm going to say it again. Do you know why it's called DNA?
Uh-oh. Go
Because
on.
when the man invented it, he went, ta-da!
Well. Well.
You should have just said that one once.
I know,
Yeah.
I probably should have done.
Because it was two guys and a woman. But hey, what the hell? A lot of flexing going on, says Jim Smith.
It's the shirt.
Yeah.
It's the shirt.
Actually, Ev said that's a knee slapper, Jamie.
Need the kazoo now.
It's a dad joke, is what it is, Ashley. Don't encourage him.
Yeah.
A knee slapper, like, yeah, come sit on my knee.
That's like the guy who invented the USB. Died the other day, and they buried him, pulled him back out, turned him around, and buried him again.
Wayne Woodwork Learner's kind of where I am on this one. He says, send me a postcard to tell me when to laugh with that DNA joke, please. Dutch Turner says, I could go on joking about how I'd be rigid, but that would just be taking it too far.
Well, you be by yourself too.
There we go.
That's looking really good, man.
That
Any
is cool.
detailing on the edge, or are you just going for the way
No,
it is?
I'm just going for the way it is. What I should have done was probably put some detail in here to start off with, so I could
Mm.
sort of differentiate between the two, but I didn't. So
And it does have that spectacular fault line running through it too.
It's windy in
Thought
there.
it might come on. Vader's in there. Darth Vader's in here. Use the great Luke. The grit is strong with this one.
With hands I feel pity, can be soft as your face. With light brown, you're gritty.
That's how it goes.
No, that's
We're
not how
gonna,
it goes.
we're gonna
that's-
write down them lyrics for you.
Okay.
It's when you sing it though, Jake. I'll send you the actual tune that Jamie decimated. The way through. He didn't so much. Actually, he didn't run roughshod over the tune. Basically, took it outside behind the barn and shot it.
Shot it. Woodwork Learner says, question. Go on.
After you.
No, go for it, mate.
Question. What's in that? Sorry, what is that in your grit tin, Wayne? Asked Woodwork Learner.
Oh, that's it's called a grit saver or whatever. It's made by Steve Trudell over in Ireland, and basically what it is, if you forget to put the tin lid on and you knock it and it falls over, you can actually take that grit out and just get rid of the grit that's on the top.
Mr. Blue Light Tumbler saying, Wayne, he thought it was the man who invented predictive text, who pissed away. I heard his fun fair is next monkey.
That's great.
You know, when you say that, Jake, it's a bit like when I use, oh, isn't he pretty?
It's a bit like when Jake likes this one. It's a bit like when I go, okay.
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 I took some notes from you last week too, there, Wayne. I said, "Oh, okay, move on."
Oh, now,
yeah.
now that's looking a bit different. Let's get
The
some.
wispy aspect is really, the wispy parts of it look really nice.
The thing is that it does go from green, which is supposed to be gold. It goes from green to pink, depending on what light you're in. I'll see if I can actually get that on camera. So
Don't Shazel,
you
here's
see,
a thought. Don't knock it
there,
over.
there's one side of it there is pink and the other side's green.
Super nice.
Yeah, you can see it.
And then it happens the other way. There, it's all pink there.
Yeah.
And that's the gold Joe Sonia's on the outside of that, put on with a little piece of non-slip matting. So there you
Nice,
go.
mate.
There
Nice,
we
mate.
go. How am I doing on time? Oh, just gone 10-2. Not
Yeah,
bad.
just gone 10-2. So you got a question from Ashley M. Obviously not happening right now, but do you guys always use Forstner bits to core out wood, whatever you use to put in the tailstock? I can't remember.
Right, it's called a Jacob's chuck. That's it there. That's a Jacob's chuck. That holds the drill, which goes in the tailstock. And if I'm doing bowls, no, I never use it. Don't see the point.
You're doing a vase? Yeah.
On a vase, yes. On a hollow form, yes. On a bowl, no.
Has anybody noticed that picture of young Wayne and his dog behind him?
There we go.
Aww.
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 Made for me by the tremendously talented JP Woodwork. And there he is. Right, guys. What time we got? Just coming up 10-2. Oh, just gone 10-2. This will give people time to go for a comfort break. Grab a coffee, grab a glass of wine. Oh, that sounds like a plan.
Wine, yes.
Young Wayne, that was
Cider.
taken in the 1800s.
Cider. Scottish cider.
So I'm going to hit the button there and enjoy the rest of the day. I'll be in for part of the evening anyway. I've got an early start in the morning. I've got to travel down to Brampton, which is it's about 40 miles away, but I've got a live demo on tomorrow. So I'll be setting off early to get set up. So I will speak to you all soon. And thanks everybody for everybody. Dale, put your hand down. I'm still talking.
You're freaking
For
me out.
everybody who has made donations today, thank you very much. It is forgotten the word. But yeah, everybody appreciated. Yeah, much appreciated. That's the word I was looking for. Thanks for coming in. I hope you enjoyed that one. I will be back with a premiere on Sunday night. Jamie will be back with a premiere on Sunday night. You got a premiere out this week, Jake?
Wednesday I'll have a air compressor for pressure pot.
All right, yeah. Unboxing. Yeah, you were talking about that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be back live on Wednesday evening. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for coming along, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.